Hello everyone, this is Tip Top Gaming here today with another Magic the Gathering video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new Artisan format. So, this is a Magic the Gathering Arena format, and it's pretty simple. It's very similar to Pauper, except you also get to use uncommons. So, here's the idea. So, Pauper is a very good idea in paper Magic because, well, you can go back to as far as you want and use those cards, but since they're all commons, they're generally less expensive. So it's kind of cool. But when they do something like Pauper on MTG Arena, it's often met with a lot of backlash. Why is that? Well, it's because, well, there's a much smaller pool of cards you can use. So overall, it just feels like dumbed down Magic, with just basic creatures, like a 2/2 for 2. Woo! And so that often leads to unfun gameplay. Now, in MTG Arena, prices of cards aren't that important. And on top of that, uncommons are kind of in the same pool as common, except they're more interesting. People have a ton of uncommons. You get them from ICRs, you get them from everywhere, so they're pretty common. I mean, I think I have more uncommon wild cards than commons somehow, and I don't know how, but they're just more interesting. They provide more interesting gameplay, and so I think this format's going to do a lot better, especially extending the card pool. You know, that makes a lot of sense, and so I think it's going to do a lot better on Arena than Pauper did, but why don't we jump into it? There is a little bit more to note. It is a minimum of 60 cards in the main deck, so it's similar to a normal constructed event. You can use up to 15 cards in your sideboard if you use a sideboard, so that's either for pulling them from there with the card, and I don't know if there's actually any cards that do that are uncommon or common, but it's also if this is the best of 3 format, which it probably will not be, and include no more than 4 copies of any individual card, so it's, again, pretty just standard deck building. Now, another thing to note is if a card was ever, like, a uncommon or common, so in Pauper, if a card was ever printed as common, all versions of it are considered legal. However, in this, it has to be printed in Magic the Gathering Arena. So, an example of this would be Narcombia, which is that Dimir card. It's cool. But originally it was printed as uncommon, but since it wasn't printed as uncommon in MTG Arena, it will not be allowed in this event. Now, it is missing a couple details from this list, and so I'm going to jump into that here in just a second. So you can see a screen of this format inside of the state of the beta. And so, by going into the state of the beta, we can kind of see a look at the event, and we can see a little bit more information. So here's the information we can see. So we can see that there are 4 cards banned, and I think these are very important cards to have banned. Persistent Petitioners, which is a card that you can have any number of in your deck, and it's a common, and it's really powerful. Cauldron Familiar. This is a very powerful combo in Standard and a major part of Mono Black. And again, I think that would probably be one of the most popular decks if it wasn't banned. This is the big one. Cavalcade of Calamity. If this card was not banned, that would be the only thing you'd see. Because guess what? You just need Cavalcade of Calamity and 1/1s and you are good. That's all you need. And then Gates of Blaze, of course, because most of the Gates cards are uncommon. There are a couple rares, obviously, in there, but most of the powerful Gate cards are uncommon. So by limiting it, by getting rid of Gates of Blaze, that gets rid of a major part of the deck. So it's interesting that they don't put that in their little page about the format, but it's fine. So, why don't we jump into, well, what I think is going to happen with this event? Honestly, I think this event is going to still be mono red. I think that a lot of mono is going to be in here, especially because you only have the basic, lands, not actually basic lands, but the ones that always come in tapped, so, color fixing isn't going to be as great, and so I think that it's highly likely that this is a mono run event. I mean, if we jump over to MTG Goldfish, which is what I'm going to do right here, and take a look, most decks rely on a lot of different commons, mythics and rares, but, taking a look at red, a decent amount of them, I know there are some rares, but, these are just upgrades, since every deck has this disadvantage, you could just replace these for 1/1s. I'm not saying it'll guaranteed be this, but you just have to get rid of Chandra, Torbrain, and Runaway Steam. So there's 4 cards you'd have to get rid of out of here, and this deck has done well without all 4 of these cards in the past. So I think it's highly likely that this deck does well. If you notice, this one doesn't even run the Cavalcade of Calamity, so it's clear that it's not needed. it's just useful. So, I mean, I think Mill might be a popular deck archetype. I mean, like, this says mono blue, it says it's white, but, like, you know, with all of the things, I mean, we have Vantress Gargoyle, which is there's really only a couple rares in this. But otherwise, most of the mill cards are uncommon or common. So I think mill might be a very common strategy along with red, and I think it'll be like mono blue mill, mono red aggro, maybe mono green big guys, although big guys are generally rare, so I don't know about that. I just think a lot of the popular decks are going to be shut down, so it'll be interesting to see how this forms and what happens. So this is the first time I've ever seen this event. I guess it could have been run somewhere else, and I just haven't heard of it. But I will probably do a report talking about how the event went and what I think could happen in the future that'd be better. I assume this is going to be standard. Yeah, it does say it's going to be standard. So, yeah, I think that it'll be interesting. I don't know how fun it's going to be. Again, my motto is add things to the game, don't take them away, which is why I'm excited for Okos Madness. If you guys want to learn about Okos Madness, there'll be a video going out tomorrow where I break down that format, which I'm super hyped about. So you guys should check that out tomorrow. Or if you're watching this and it's older than a day, then you should check that out now. See you guys in, this has been Tipped Up Gaming. I hope you guys enjoyed, learned something new, and found this interesting. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.